The first thing Nora Cole noticed was the silence. Not ordinary silence, the kind born from fear, recognition, and the sudden realization that someone powerful had entered the room. The federal courtroom had been loud moments earlier. Reporters whispered, lawyers shuffled papers. Spectators leaned toward one another, exchanging rumors about Ethan Cole, the charismatic tech entrepreneur accused of federal export violations. Then Nora stepped through the heavy oak doors, her service dress uniform cut sharply against the marble and dark wood interior. Silver captain bars gleamed beneath the courtroom lights. Every ribbon on her chest represented years her family had ignored or mocked. Her father noticed her first. Richard Cole leaned toward his wife with a smirk already forming. "Well, bah," he muttered, loud enough for nearby reporters to hear. "Looks like the Army sent us a receptionist." A few people chuckled. Nora heard every word, but she kept walking. Measured steps, controlled breathing, no emotion. Because emotion was dangerous. Emotion made mistakes. And Nora Cole had spent years learning how never to make one. At the prosecution table, Assistant U.S. Attorney Daniel Mercer rose immediately. "Captain Cole," he said quietly. Nora gave a small nod. Mercer looked nervous. Everyone did lately. Judge Harold Whittaker entered moments later, adjusting his glasses as he reviewed the docket. Case 924-CR-081, United States versus Ethan Cole. He paused, his eyes lifted toward Nora. For several seconds, he simply stared. Then his expression changed completely. "Good Lord," he whispered into the microphone. "Operation Nightshade." The courtroom froze. Even the stenographer stopped typing. The two U.S. Marshals near the judge instinctively straightened. Nora remained still. Behind her, Ethan's smile disappeared for the first time all morning. 2 weeks earlier, things had looked very different. Sunday dinner at the Cole family home had always revolved around Ethan. Ethan's startup, Ethan's investments, Ethan's interviews, Ethan's future. Their parents treated him like royalty. Meanwhile, Nora sat quietly at the end of the table while conversations skipped over her like she barely existed. When Ethan casually mentioned the federal indictment, nobody panicked. "It's nonsense," he laughed while pouring wine. "Government paperwork drama." Richard Cole grinned proudly. "My son's lawyers will destroy them." Then Ethan looked at Nora with amusement. "Hey, Captain," he said mockingly. "Maybe you can wear the uniform and scare the parking officers outside the courthouse." Laughter exploded around the table. Even their mother smiled weakly. Nora smiled too, small, polite, cold. Because that morning she had already reviewed classified files confirming Ethan knowingly sold restricted navigation systems to foreign intermediaries connected to hostile networks overseas. And because she already knew exactly how this story would end. 3 days later, Nora entered a secured intelligence facility beneath Andrews Air Force Base. No windows, no phones, no outside signal, only steel doors and the endless low hum of encrypted systems. Colonel Marcus Vance waited inside the SCIF conference room beside 3 federal analysts and a defense intelligence representative. "Begin," he ordered. Nora activated the projector. Photos appeared. Bank transfers, server maps, shipping manifests, encrypted communications. Subject Ethan Cole utilized a Dubai shell corporation to reroute restricted avionics components, Nora explained calmly. "We confirmed transfers using Operation Nightshade Surveillance Authority." A general sitting at the far end stiffened. "You're telling me these systems reached foreign buyers?" "Yes, sir." "How compromised are we?" Nora clicked another slide. "Potential exposure includes pilot identification systems and drone response architecture." The room fell silent. Not confused silence. Terrified silence. Colonel Vance folded his hands slowly. "This goes beyond fraud," he said quietly. "Yes, sir. It's a national security breach." Nora met his eyes. "Yes, sir." After the briefing ended, she stood at attention inside his office. "Sir," she said firmly, "I request formal recusal from prosecution involvement due to family conflict." Vance studied her carefully. "Accepted." That was it. No sympathy, no comfort. Military life rarely offered either. But 1 week later, Ethan's defense team made a catastrophic mistake. They attacked her directly. Their motion accused Captain Nora Cole of emotional bias, personal retaliation, an investigative misconduct, which meant one thing: she could testify. The night before the hearing, her mother called. "We'll all be there tomorrow for Ethan," Evelyn said gently. Nora sat alone in her apartment, staring at a stack of classified affidavits. "I know," she replied. After hanging up, she spent 6 straight hours reviewing every page of evidence, every timestamp, every transfer, every lie. By morning, she remembered everything. The courtroom exploded with cameras the next day. Reporters filled every seat. Ethan entered confidently beside his attorneys. He still believed money could save him. Then Nora entered, and the room changed again. On the witness stand, she placed one gloved hand on the Bible. "Do you swear?" "I do." Defense attorney Michael Reeves approached immediately with a polished smile. "Captain Cole," he began smoothly, "isn't it true this investigation was motivated by resentment toward your brother?" "No. You expect this court to believe you remained objective while investigating your own family?" "Yes," Reeves smiled arrogantly. "Interesting." He turned dramatically toward the jury. "Your Honor, this entire investigation is poisoned by personal conflict." Judge Whitaker looked almost offended. "Counselor," he said carefully, "Captain Cole authored portions of Operation Nightshade doctrine currently taught at Quantico." The courtroom fell silent again. Reeves blinked. "What?" The judge leaned forward. "You are questioning one of the government's leading cyber intelligence officers." Reeves suddenly looked much less confident. Nora opened her binder calmly. Then she began. Every sentence precise, every word controlled. She detailed server pathways, offshore routing structures, export control violations, encryption timestamps, and intercepted communications. She explained exactly how Ethan bypassed federal safeguards, exactly when, exactly why, and exactly who received the technology. The deeper she went, the paler Ethan became. Sweat gathered near his collar. His confident posture collapsed inch by inch. Then Nora revealed the final transfer, a classified shipment tied directly to an overseas weapons intermediary already under federal surveillance. Gasps echoed across the courtroom. Richard Cole looked physically sick. Evelyn's hands trembled against her mouth. Ethan stared at Nora like he no longer recognized her. Maybe he never had. When Nora finally closed her binder, the courtroom remained perfectly still. Judge Whitaker turned slowly toward the defense. Cross-examination? Reeves looked down at his notes, then back at Ethan, then at Nora. "No questions, Your Honor." The words landed like a funeral bell. Judge Whitaker lifted the gavel. Motion denied. The strike echoed sharply. Bail denied. Another strike. The defendant is remanded into federal custody pending trial. U.S. Marshals moved immediately. Metal cuffs snapped around Ethan's wrists. For the first time in his life, nobody came to save him. As marshals escorted him away, Ethan turned once toward Nora. His eyes were wet, confused, desperate. "Please," he whispered. Nora said nothing, because silence had always been her strongest weapon. Outside the courthouse, cold wind swept across the stone steps. Colonel Vance stood beside a black government vehicle waiting for her. "You did your duty, Captain," he said quietly. Nora looked back toward the courthouse doors. Her parents never came outside. They remained inside staring at the ruins of the son they had worshipped. Weeks later, Ethan accepted a plea agreement. 15 years in federal prison. 3 intelligence agencies quietly closed Operation Nightshade. And one rainy evening, Nora received an email from her father. 2 words: proud, sorry. She stared at the message for a long time, then archived it unread. Outside her apartment window, thunder rolled softly across Washington. For the first time in her life, Nora finally understood something important. Justice did not heal wounds, but sometimes it ended them.